Hey, I'm John Thielen. Today I'm Fish Ed. We're on the Missouri River and it's late spring. And you know what's so cool about the Missouri River in late spring? Fish get aggressive. Walleyes get aggressive. They want to hit aggressive baits. They want to see something moving fast and grabbing their attention. And that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to show you exactly how to do it, because I'll tell you what, this is some fun fishing. You trigger a lot of strikes and you can fill a live well pretty fast. Stay right where you're at. Fish Head's coming up. There's one right there. Yep, got him. I got another one here. Jim, get this one. I think that one might have just come off.
It did.
Must have just been a little pile of fish there. I think this one's pretty decent, actually. Oh yeah, he is. Look at that. Look at that. I'll just take him right here.
Okay.
I think he's gonna make that 15 inches. Heck yeah, look at that. That's what we're chasing today. These are all, look at how he ate that bait. I wanna show you this. Yeah, go ahead and grab that, Jim. Look at how he ate that bait. That 15-inch walleye took that little guy. I mean, he's got it almost down to his gut. I mean, that's just crazy, but it goes to show you what happens when you get into this time of the year where these fish are really aggressive. And here's what's going on. This fish is post-spawn. He just finished spawning. In fact, there's just a little bit of milk coming out of him still. And what that means is they are going on the feeding binge now. It's all they're thinking about. They're gonna eat, eat, eat. But what also happens with that, get that tip so that little guy will come out of there. What also happens with that, we're gonna let them even have that minnow. But what also happens with that is they start eating really aggressive, and they eat aggressive baits. And that's what we're doing today is we're fishing for fish that just a week and a half ago had one thing on their mind, and that was spawning. They weren't thinking about eating. They were in that funk. They were hard to catch. But here's what's going on now. Now they have finished up, they're sliding off that shoreline a little bit, and all they care about is eating. And that's one of the best times of the year to be on the water, isn't it, Jim?
It is very a good time to be on the water.
It's a fun time to fish because they'll hit aggressive baits, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because you could come through here and catch some fish Lindy rigging, you could catch them pulling spinners, you could catch them doing a lot of things. We're pulling Lindy little guys, and we're going to show you a little bit about this bait and explain to you what makes it so deadly on the Missouri River system.
.4 mile an hour, smoked it.
Got him?
That's a good fish, I think.
That's something else, ain't it? I mean, we are flying. And you know, this is one of the things I would say to what we're doing too, is, well, you look at this and you think to yourself, man, that's an awful aggressive technique for...
I think I picked up my other line, that's why it's so heavy.
Okay. Well, let's see what we got. Okay. That's a good eye. Bring him in here. I'm just going to do that to try to save you from having too big a mess there.
Okay.
But one of the things that I would tell you too is you look at what we're doing, and it seems like an awfully aggressive technique to be running around with at this time of the year. But the other thing that's happening is the weather's kind of dictating what we're capable of doing right now. Excuse me here, Jim. I got to get this out of here. I mean, it's ripping, and we're just trying to fight it. And it forces you to look at your presentation, and what I would tell you about it right now is sometimes you just want to choose a faster presentation and something that'll just look as natural as you can with the conditions you got. So what we're doing is using this Lindy little guy, and the reason we're using it is because it's got that body that's running around in front of a bait just like that, and we're just using minnow on it. Jim's using both hooks, using one almost like a stinger in its dorsal fin, and I'm actually just clipping off a hook and going down to one hook. But it's the kind of bait that's made to fish a little bit faster. So we're just putting them behind bottom bouncers and we're trucking right along. I mean, it's hard to control everything right now. We're bouncing up in this wind sometimes to 2.5 miles an hour, and then we're dropping down to 1.5. Eventually here, we were just talking about, we're gonna have to get turned around and start fishing the other way. The only thing is then we're going against current, and it seems like a lot of these fish want to bite with the current, so we'll just have to see what happens there. But there's a good chance we're going to have to swing it around because there's not a lot of boat control in today, as you can tell. I mean, you can look at my shirt. It's just a flag. You get in these situations where you're trying to work a steep break like we are. I'll tell you the other thing that I'm sure of is if you can use a faster moving technique that allows you to put some heavy weight down there, get down there as vertical as possible. And I mean, we're not going to be vertical here. It's still horizontal, but we're just past a 45-degree angle. We don't got a ton of line out. But if you're able to use a presentation where you can move fast, like what we're using with these little guys and these bottom bouncers, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to stay on that break line, because this is a tough location to fish. Most of these fish are along that edge somewhere, but it is a hard, sharp break. So if you can use a faster technique where you can control the boat a little bit better because you're going faster, it's a heck of a lot easier. Well, there's one right there. Well, yeah.
How's it feel?
I don't know. What's the difference between 14, 15, and 16 inches? This actually feels like a pretty strong fish, and I don't think he's in the other line, so I think he's definitely going to make that keeper line. Out here on the Missouri River, the stretch we're on today, it's 15-inch minimum. We're looking for one more to go in the live well. Once we get that one more today, and I think that might be him, huh? Gonna be close. Ugh. He's gonna be close. I think he might be short. I just think these fish are just so strong. It's just amazing to me how strong these river fish are. He might make it. He's gonna be close, isn't he? Let's check him out. Nope, that's just a strong 14.5-inch walleye. That's crazy. Before I get this baited up, I want to show you one other thing. One thing about these little guys, they do not dive on their own. That body is plastic, and it's not going to dive. It's actually going to float. So we're always fishing that behind a bottom bouncer. I prefer to fish them behind bottom bouncers versus a walking style weight, because then I know if I'm banging bottom, I'm banging down here on the needle. With this floating a little bit, and as it runs, I know I'm 9 inches to a foot above the bottom. And I think that's so important, because you look at the fish we're catching today, they're all belly on the bottom on the graph. We're not seeing fish up high. So we need to go over the top of them, but we want to be close to them. And that 9 inches that you're getting with that bottom bouncer, along with a little bit of float, is actually probably right in that 9 inches to a foot coming right past them, and that's what makes it happen. I mean, ultimately it comes right over the top of them and they're willing to hit it. The other thing I would tell you is don't be afraid when you're fishing a bouncer to go on the heavy side until the fish tell you they need something lighter. And here's what I mean. This one's a 3-ounce bottom bouncer, and I'm catching as many fish on this one as I am that 1.5 ounces. When it comes down to it, I like fishing an 1.5 ounces most of the time, especially in clean water where I'm afraid that bottom bouncer might bug them. But you get in a situation like this, these river fish that are cruising up and down here, willing to go 2 miles an hour to hit a bait, don't sweat it. You can get by with the 3 ounce and you got a lot better control, and you can find that exact spot. Very good. There's another one right there. Another one. Here you go.
Yeah, that one's
got off. Okay. A lot of fish right in that little pocket, huh? Let me know if you need anything.
Yeah, you better net it.
Oh, yeah, I think he'll work, huh? So you gonna make her to 15?
Looks like it, maybe.
I think he's gonna be short. But I'm gonna take care of him for you. Pliers right here. Definitely hooked him good. There you go.
Thank you.
Look at that.
That's 15.
Our day is over. Man, I'll tell you what a fun day it's been though.
Yes.
15.25 inches. He finishes out an awesome limit. We're gonna have a great fish fry tonight, and I'll tell you what, I don't believe we would have put all these fish in the boat today, without using an aggressive tactic like we did. So keep that in mind. And you know what, get out and pull some baits that are a little bit out of your comfort zone. This Lindy little guy, you're missing something if you haven't pulled it and you haven't tried it, because it's just a flat out fish catcher. And I don't care if you're fishing natural lakes in Minnesota, Wisconsin, up in Canada, or here out on the Missouri River, or these reservoirs that are all up and down the Dakotas. It's an awesome bait, and this is a great fishery. If you get a chance to get to the Missouri River, get here. It's a great time. Thanks, Jim, for being on the show today.
Thank you, John.
We'll catch you next time on Fish Ed.